The big hand for errors, applause for mistakes. Without them we wouldn't be here.
And welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. It's excellent being here with you once again, and it's such a great achievement to come into your lives like we do here daily. I guess you gathered from the opening video that it's about that time a year again for the oldest Black American celebration in North America, and that is Juneteenth. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about it in a few more minutes. But first, I'd like to bring to your attention that tonight's the night at 5 p.m. It's the city manager's the city manager's task force. They're trying to install a new city manager at the city hall. But you're invited. The tenant leaders, you've been invited to participate in the search process for a new city manager by coming to a focus group. That's what it is, on low-income housing and homelessness. That's this evening. That's June 15th at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the City Senior Center. That's 806 Massachusetts Avenue. And right after that, at 6 o'clock, in the Sullivan Chambers of the City Hall. That's where the City Council meets weekly. That's the Sullivan Chambers. At 6 o'clock, the committee, the CPA, that's the Community Preservation Act Committee, and they're sponsoring. They're inviting you for an opportunity to come out and make suggestions on proposals, project proposals for CPA funding, Community Preservation Act funding. So you're invited to come out for that at 6 p.m. at the Sullivan Chambers. That's just right after this focus group meeting at the Citywide Senior Center at 806 Massachusetts from 5 to 6 p.m. And from 6 p.m. they'll be right across the street at the City Hall in the City Commerce Chambers with your opportunity to come out and make project proposals for Community Preservation Act funding. That's okay. Once again, if you'd like additional information, you can call 617-499-7031. That's 617-499-7031. It's once again 5 to 6 p.m. Citywide Senior Center. There's the focus groups on installing a new city manager, and there'll be the focus group topics tonight will be low-income housing and homelessness. So you're invited to get on out there. That's the Citywide Senior Center, 806 Massachusetts Avenue, and right across the street after that at 6 p.m. they'll be in the Sullivan Chambers, and they'll be discussing or listening, accepting opportunities. It's your opportunity to make a proposal for CPA funding. That's the Community Preservation Act funding. Okay, so another thing I'd like to, okay, let's see if we can get to this, one more activity here in Cambridge that I'm sure you'll be interested in. If we can get to it, we'll go through this pile of information and we can get to this. It's okay, hold on, just a minute. Oh boy, okay, here we go. Well, some of you might be aware of Miss P. Soto. That's Miss P. Soto. Well, she's up to it, her weekly movies. This time, she's featuring a film. Her weekly film series is featuring, this showing is this Thursday, January 16th, excuse me, that's tomorrow, 6:40 p.m., doors open 7 p.m., film starts promptly, 243 Broadway, Cambridge. That's P. Soto. And the film is entitled The Atomic Cafe, Atomic Bomb Protective Device. Okay, Bert the Turtle, Duck and Cover. Okay, well, once again, the title is The Atomic Bomb. It's I guess it's a comedy, comedic horror film. Okay, so that's 243 Broadway, and the next film they'll be showing there is How to Change the World, and that's on July 21st. Okay, The Atomic Cafe. This film that I'll be showing tomorrow night is one of the defining documentaries of the 20th century. The Atomic Cafe offers a darkly humorous glimpse into mid-century America, an era rife with paranoia, anxiety, and misapprehension. Whimsical and yet razor-sharp, this timely classic illuminates the often comic paradise of American life and atomic age, while also exhibiting a genuine nostalgia for an earlier and more innocent nation. That's P. Soto, Miss P. Soto. She'll be showing this film, The Atomic Age. That's 6:40 p.m. Doors open sharply. 7 p.m. film starts. That's 243 Broadway. So you make an extra effort to get on out for that. Okay. Right now, I got to get back to the opening video. That was a depiction of last year's Juneteenth celebration held up in a place over in Boston called Franklin Park. Annually, they hold this festival on Juneteenth. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna get to what's going on this year, 2016. So that was an old film, but. Okay, I was going to try to give you some information on the origin and history of Juneteenth, and I'd like to also bring it to your attention that there's an article come out in the latest edition of the Bay State Banner, and the title of it is an editorial appeared on page. Okay, I think it was page 10. I'm not for sure, but anyway. The article said, there's a big title, it says, Juneteenth has no beneficial meaning in Massachusetts, and that's left a lot of people perplexed and confused. I don't know what business they come out with saying that Juneteenth has no beneficial meaning in Massachusetts, okay? And I don't support that statement. But let me tell you something about what Juneteenth is, okay? Juneteenth, that's people of Texas are informed that according to the proclamations from the President of the United States, all slaves are free. That's the first proclamation where it was presented to them in Texas, that all slaves are free. On June 19, 1865, 250,000 Texas enslaved black people were finally informed by the Union Army General Gordon Granger that the Emancipation Proclamation has freed them. On January 1st, 1863, 2.5 years earlier, the newly freed men and women rejoiced, and a year later organized Juneteenth celebration. So that's what it was all about. The first Juneteenth celebration was held in Texas, and because of that, I don't think that it doesn't have any beneficial aspects for it. There's no reason to say that it doesn't have beneficial aspects for Massachusetts. So I don't agree with that statement in the Bay State Banner that Juneteenth has no beneficial meaning in Massachusetts. Look at that. Okay, there it is. Okay, okay. Unfortunately, I was looking for some Juneteenth events in here in Cambridge. I was only able to find one Juneteenth event that's going on here in Cambridge, Boston. I found scores of them, and Central Massachusetts. I found scores of them, Western Massachusetts, but only one in Cambridge, and that is an event. It's entitled Friends of the Mount Auburn, okay? And this is going to be held Sunday, June 19, 2016 from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in Cambridge. And it is a visit to Mount Auburn Cemetery. And I guess they're going to just make a tour of the graves of black people who pioneered, who were like sort of like pioneers, the first black people in the Cambridge area that were buried in Mount Auburn Cemetery. So this is the only activity that they have scheduled that I'm aware of for Juneteenth. Once again, that's the Friends of Mount Auburn, and it's Sunday, June 19, 2016. And as a matter of fact, that's Father's Day too. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And it's Cambridge, okay? Juneteenth is a holiday that commemorates the emancipation of African American slaves throughout the Confederate South. Join volunteer docent Carol Harper for a guided tour of the graves of key members of Boston's African American community who lived through the Civil War and celebrated the abolition of slavery in their own time. So the Mount Auburn Cemetery, 580 Mount Auburn Street, Cambridge, Sunday, June 9th, 2016, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. So I guess that's the rallying point. That's where they're going to all meet up. They're going to rendezvous there. And you be there too. That's if you don't have anything to do for Father's Day or Juneteenth, I advise you to get on over and do that. That's 580 Mount Auburn Street, Cambridge, Mass. 02139, Sunday, June 9th, 2016, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. That's the Friends of Mount Auburn, okay? So they're going to pay their respects to all the black pioneers that's buried out there in the graveyard. Okay, once again now, August 27th, you're invited to come out to a public hearing on the Community Preservation Act. Okay, that's Thursday, August 25th, 2015, 6 p.m. Sullivan Chambers City Hall, 795 Massachusetts Avenue. You're invited to a public hearing regarding the allocation of fiscal year 1600 Community Preservation Act CPA funds. CPA funds may be used for affordable housing, historic preservation, and open space. At this hearing, the CPA committee will accept public testimony on how CPA funding should be allocated for housing, open space, historic preservation for fiscal year 16. 2016. The CPA committee will make its funding recommendation in early September. So tonight, you get on over to the City Hall chambers at 6, and if you have a project that you'd like to, a proposal that you would like to seek funding for, well, tonight's the night to get on over there for that. Okay, I got another one for you scheduled here for you that I was saving. I ran across this, but this is for all you folks out there who are into media, filming, broadcasting, photography. Well, I tell you, there's a big conference coming. That's the ACM 2016 Annual Conference, Explore In-Depth Workshops. That's ACM Annual Conference, Explore In-Depth Workshops. That's the title of it, and it's the Alliance for Community Media 2016 Annual Conference, Boston, August 18th to the 20th. So you're invited to join community media professionals from all across the country at the Westin Boston Waterfront Hotel on August 18 through the 20th, as we celebrate and explore the meaning of making media that relates to place and to our communities. We all have a yearning to belong, to understand our world, and to share our stories, to build communities, to make a living and make a life at our best. Community media reflects the world of our towns, our communities, and speaks to the needs of their future. We will be exploring the theme, this theme, our town, further in Boston, and we hope you will join us. So it's another big media convention conference that's coming to Boston, Massachusetts, in your area. That's right here in this region. Okay, 2016 annual conference has been posted. Okay, we went through that, but once again, you'll be hearing more about that as we get closer to that event right here at your Human Service News and Information. Okay, let's see if we can find something else for all you people who want to do something on the holiday. That's this Father's Day weekend, and it's also Juneteenth. Okay, Juneteenth, and I shared a little information with you about what Juneteenth was all about, a little tidbit. Okay, okay, here we go. Where's that article? It's okay. It was related to Franklin Park. That's the place where I guess the biggest Juneteenth celebration in the region is held every Juneteenth. That's the 19th at Franklin Park. I don't see it here, but we're gonna share some more of that video with you so you can get an insight on what it is that Juneteenth is all about. Okay, we're gonna share a little bit more. This is the last week. Okay, it's we're gonna put this on the screen so they'll tell you. No, this is Museum of National Center. They're also offering a Juneteenth event at the Museum of National Center plus Franklin Park. But the video that you're going to be seeing was last year's Franklin Park Juneteenth celebration. Okay, I'm going to put this on, let you take a look at it. You can write that down. Well, take it and copy it on your screens or whatever, however you record information. That's Juneteenth observation, Sunday, June 19, 2016, Father's Day, 3 p.m. standing in unity on the grounds of the Museum of the National Science Center of Afro-American History. Okay, so they're going to be honoring the fathers too on Father's Day. So you make sure you get on out to that. I'm going to run this video again so you can get an idea of all the good times that the folks be having at these occasions. Hold up. There's no action on that one, so we're gonna just see if we can locate what the problem is. You just hold on there for a minute. Okay, we got it now.
One to every generation comes a chance to change the world, and now's the time to stand together and live a change for our children. To be free of the misery and violence that pains us. With a smile, bring out the best in us. Holding hands from sea to shining sea. With the power of love, we heal the earth and our place.
Okay, that's what was going on last year this time at the Franklin Park in Boston. Okay, and they're going to be at it again this Sunday. So you take the dates. This Sunday they're going to be at the Museum of Afro-American History. So and Franklin Park and other locations. But I want to try to read a little bit of this article that appeared as an editorial in the Bay State Banner. It says Juneteenth has no beneficial meaning in Massachusetts. Juneteenth is a Texas holiday that has gone viral. It began as an acknowledgement of the day that Lincoln Emancipation Proclamation was enforced in Texas on June 19. On June 19. Texas, 1865. Texas was the last state of Confederacy to comply. There seems to be a mistaken belief that slavery became illegal everywhere in the country on that day. That assumption is historically incorrect. When Abraham Lincoln was elected president, he was determined to end slavery. However, he did not have the constitutional authority to do so without a congressional approval. Once the Confederate States rebelled and launched the Civil War on April 12, 1861, Lincoln then had the authority as commander-in-chief of the Union Army to end slavery as a military tactic. By executive order, Lincoln issued a proclamation to abolish slavery on January 1st, 1863. This proclamation applied only to those states and sections of the states that had joined the Confederacy and war against the Union. The Emancipation Proclamation applied only to Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Texas, as well as Arkansas, North Carolina, and parts of Virginia. Slavery was still permissible elsewhere in the slave states that had not taken up arms against the Union. Delaware, Kentucky, Maryland, Missouri, Tennessee, and parts of Virginia. Major General Gordon Granger landed in Galveston, Texas, with 2,000 federal troops on June 19, 1865. To enforce Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. That was a 2.5-year delay in its implementation. In the meantime, Lincoln had been working assiduously on a constitutional amendment that would settle the question of the legality of slavery everywhere in the country. Through his efforts, the 13th Amendment was ratified December 6, 1865. Somehow, the Juneteenth date has gained more popularity than December 6, 1865, the date that ended the legality of slavery everywhere in the United States. Now, 45 of the 50 states and the District of Columbia recognize that Juneteenth holiday as at least a day of observance. Only Hawaii, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, and South Dakota do not recognize the holiday. Like many other states, Massachusetts had a history of slavery. While there never was a law to abolish slavery in the states directly, the Declaration of Rights that the state, all men are born free and equal, is part of the state's constitution. In 1783, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled that the Declaration of Rights renders slavery unconstitutional in the Commonwealth. Consequently, General Granger's foray into Texas 83 years later had no legal consequence in Massachusetts, which already had become one of the leading anti-slavery states. Charles Schumer, who was a Massachusetts senator from 1851 to Charles Sumner, who was a Massachusetts U.S. senator from 1851 to 1874, was a vigorous opponent of Confederacy and an advocate for the freedman. Rather than mindlessly celebrating Juneteenth, African Americans should be mindful of the fact that even the 13th Amendment did not end illegally. It merely made slavery illegal. A former New York Times reporter, Douglas A. Blackman, published the book Slavery by Another Name, the enslavement of black Americans from the Civil War to World War II. That recorded the many strategies to circumvent the prohibition. Black evicted from the plantations were jobless and penniless. When arrested as vagrants, they could be sentenced to work for plantation owners rather than have the county pay for their imprisonment. The Blackman book sets forth the record of the continual enslavement of blacks under cover of law. Enthusiasm for Juneteenth is inappropriate outside of Texas. So this is the part of the statement that no one agrees with. It says, quote, Enthusiasm for Juneteenth is inappropriate outside of Texas. The universal celebration should be ratification of the 13th Amendment of December 6. I don't know what those guys at the banner are talking about when they say that Juneteenth has no beneficial meaning in Massachusetts. I mean, it's a great celebration. It's a great day that the slaves were freed. So that has universal certitude, okay? So that guy, I don't know what they're doing over there at the what's the name, but the banner, yeah. But Juneteenth has universal certitude. Okay, I'm gonna try to get something else on here for you. Okay, where do you go? Okay, before we, okay, I'm gonna try to run this again. The people, they have such a good time at these Juneteenth events. I don't know, he says that they're just not right. Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid, and it's always excellent being here with you. It's such a great achievement to come into your lives like we do here daily. But until next time, keep your nose clean, play it straight so that you can be successful. And don't forget to help someone or assist someone in need of your help. Until next time, I leave you with the universal greetings of peace.